Hey everyone, welcome to our weekly market update. Last week has been pretty uneventful. I would say we are still flat, we're still chopping, but we managed to get into several good trades that I want to discuss in this video. But before we jump into that, let's just go over the market currently and what BTC and Ethereum are doing. Pretty much last week we were 1.5% up on the week, but as you can see in the last several weeks, we're just hanging around this area around 19k, 18k, and we're pretty much in a wait and see mode. I'm expecting this to continue this week. There are no major events this week. I haven't seen any major news. Next week though, we have the Fed meeting coming, and usually around these events we can see a lot more volatility. It will be interesting to see if the Fed will hike 75 basis points or maybe even less, maybe even more, and of course how this will affect the crypto markets. As you can see here, Bitcoin is breaking out of this descending line. If we go into the daily chart, I wouldn't give it that much of a weight just because we already broke out of one descending line that was coming down from the all-time high, and currently we're still chopping around, we're still squeezing, and this could continue for a while. So I'm always paying more attention to the horizontal lines, and this line of hope here is around 18k, and we have already extensively discussed what my plans are if we break below this line or if we see some momentum on the bullish side. So that will be Bitcoin, and let's look quickly at Ethereum. You can see here that we're still chopping around and we had some strength during the last few days. We are also fighting this descending line from the all-time high of Ethereum, but again we are in the middle of nowhere, I would say, right below the previous cycle all-time high, and we're consolidating here. So definitely we're looking at the price action on Ethereum and on Bitcoin. We're consolidating for a bigger move. So let's jump into some of the trades that we took last week, and we're gonna start with the ENS long that I closed at a loss. This played as a classical fake out breakout. You see, we took this trade somewhere around here with a good volume, but then around $20 it started fading away. The volume started going down. You can see it down here. And if we go down to the 4-hour chart, you'll be able to see that we were forming this kind of a potential bull flag. However, within just a day or two, we broke down below several key levels of resistance, which were the initial breakout point around $18. Then we broke down below this flag, which was invalidated. And then right away, we broke down this level around $17.50. So seeing all of this weakness together with decreasing volume, I decided to cut this trade a little bit early. Usually I'll be more patient, and my original plan is to have my stop loss somewhere in this area just because this was the previous higher low. However, I wanted to be a little bit more conservative because in general, in these market conditions, as I've discussed before, fake outs, breakout tend to happen very often, and this was just another case of it. I was down around 8%, but I'm okay with this loss. In general, I think the overall setup was good, at least in my opinion. However, it just didn't happen. We didn't see continuation. I was expecting to see something like QNT, at least something like this, after the initial breakout, to have a secondary one and reach my 1 or 2 targets that I had in profit. As you can see, QNT showed some strength, some parabolic moves here. We discussed this last week, and right after that we're already correcting here and we're down around 23%. So we didn't even get this on ENS, but hey, these things happen. The most important thing is always to have good risk management and always to protect your capital, especially in the bear markets. There's just a golden rule. If you survive a bear market, you have a lot higher probability to make a lot of money in the bull side of the cycle. So this has always been my mantra, and yes, I take these trades, but I usually am very careful with my risk management in order not to blow up any of my accounts or anything like this. With that said, there are a couple of trades that I'm still in and are quite in profit. Both are actually quite similar. We're talking about AXS and also IMX. both tokens have seen a lot of selling pressure in the past months and even years already, and both of them are in the gaming and NFT sector, which is currently, pretty much battered. Nobody wants to buy NFTs or play to earn games. And also on top of this, there are huge token unlocks on both projects, and that's what kind of makes the perfect storm for a quick short on both of these tokens. And let's just start with AXS, but they're pretty much both of them similar setups. So I took this short somewhere around here, around 10.50, and although I missed a better entry somewhere around here, around $11, once we broke down and retested this to confirm it as resistance, I decided to anyway take this position just because of the potential for it to play out. And as you can see, this was the right call at this moment. We start seeing increase in volume, and since the token unlock for AXS is quite soon, in about 13 hours of shooting this video, so there's already selling pressure even before the token unlock because people are watching at this. And as you can see here, we are about to unlock 8% of the total supply, which I believe is very significant number, especially for a beat down project like AXS, and I definitely believe that this trend downwards will continue. However, I just decided to take some profit here at around 150% gains, and also I moved my stop below my entry point, so this way I know that this is a completely free lunch and I cannot lose money on this trade anymore. I can only make more money, and this is one of the most liberating things whenever you're trading and whenever you're slightly in profit and start moving your stop loss behind your entry point. I mentioned I'm 150% in profit just because I decided to go 10x leverage on this specific trade, and currently we're even at around 18-19% down from my entry, so this will make it already 180% gains. And what I'm planning to do is to just be very patient. If we run some fib extensions to the downside, you can run it from here to here, and this correction here you can use it. So you can see that there are very good levels here to take profit, so around $9 and also 1.618 extension, but really the major target I'm aiming is here around $6, just because we also have some confluence here with previous levels. That will be where I'm aiming to take the lion's share of my profit, of course, if we get there. However, I'm still going to take some profits, probably somewhere around $8 or $7, somewhere around this area, just to make sure, I'm following my plan and I'm not getting overly greedy. So that's Axie Infinity or AXS. And if we move to Immutable X, very similar setup. I was still late to this one, but again, as I mentioned in chat, I wanted to get some, and there was a pretty good risk to reward here on this entry. So even if we go down to the hourly chart, you can see this was forming as a little bit of intraday resistance around 60 cents, and I started scaling in. So I shorted somewhere around here, around 58 cents, but also I added here on this bounce to retest this resistance level and confirm it. So my average is somewhere around here, and as you can see, this played out very well. And I'm about maybe 50% already in gains. Let me just check. This one I'm also using 10x leverage, so I took some off the table somewhere around here, around 7%, and currently we're seeing a bounce and some consolidation, and I'm only about 4%, or on 10x leverage that's around 40% gains currently. I also moved my stop loss here at break even, and I don't want to be overly exaggerated on any of those trades. Yes, we are in profit, but the positions are not closed, and as you can see in the past weeks, the markets have been very volatile. So as I mentioned with AXS, I want to follow my trade plan. I want to have a free ride on this one too, and if it comes back and tests my stop loss, that's fine. I can always find another entry even on the hourly chart, as this was the case right here. And ITMX also has a big token unlock, but it's a little bit further out. So if we use again this website, by the way, Token Unlocks is a very good website to track everything. And actually I want to show you also another trade I am looking at because I saw it on this website, but let's just see ITMX here. It's unlocking almost 13% on November 5th, so this is in about a week. So we could still see some bounce here, but after that I'm pretty sure we're gonna see a lot of selling pressure, and I will definitely be keeping an eye on IMX even if I get stopped out and we see some kind of bounce on the prices. Another token actually here that you can see by yourself is NYM, and as you can see they also have around 8% to be unlocked on November 3rd. I don't know anything about this project. We can together look at the chart. Let me just show you, and actually the chart looks pretty good for a potential short setup. You can see that we are squeezing in this area around 27 cents, and the volatility is slowly dying into this descending triangle. So definitely I will keep this on watch, and I was looking where you can short this, and the only exchange that I'm personally using and are also offering shorting is KuCoin. So I'll keep this on watch. I have to check what's the volume and everything, because this is a very small token and I want to be stuck in a trade that's very low liquid. So yeah, just keeping this on watch for now. If I decide to enter a position, obviously I'll let you know, guys. And I also finally I wanted to discuss another token that I just recently saw that was listed. It's called Aptos, and they got listed on all the major exchanges pretty much. You can see from the listing here, it had quite a run, and actually I usually ignore the first candle because it's, as you can see, wildly volatile. But if we zoom in a little bit, you'll see that this thing is already up around 30% from the second day of trading, and it was up around 40%, and there's always a good sign. And if we go down to the hourly chart, you'll see that actually we had a breakout pattern. I didn't take this one just because it's so new and it's usually so volatile, and we don't really have that much price history on the daily chart, but I'm keeping this on watch. Why? Because first of all, whenever a token lists with such a good diversification, as you can see, Binance, FTX, KuCoin, Coinbase, and even Kraken, it's all listed on these exchanges. That's very well diversified token. Most of the volume is coming from Binance, around 30 or 40% of the volume is on Binance. And as you can see, it's pulling crazy volume currently, like around $500 million. Actually, correction, more than $1 billion in 24 hours of trading. So I think it's definitely worth to keep this on watch. And even if on the daily chart starts seeing some accumulation developing, you know, somewhere in this area and potential for breakout or breakdown patterns, that will definitely be something that I'm interested in. I haven't researched this token. What I'm seeing from just the titles is that it's another blockchain, but I really need to go down deep into the white paper and just try to learn more about it, because I think definitely there is some potential here for this project to be a big player in the coming months and even years. That's pretty much everything for this market update. If you have any questions, you know how to find me.